So, hi everyone. Hopefully you can hear us. Can I just get a thumbs up that you can hear us okay?
There we go. Good.
Excellent. Okay. I think we're going to try and the priority, will be given to the UK media. We've got Tim on there, yeah. So Tim from Sky Sports News, if you want to go ahead, please.
Hi, Owen, you okay?
Good. Well, thank you, Tim.
Can we start with Liam Livingston? His finger injury. How is he, and will he be fit for the start of the tournament?
Yeah, Liam is fine and fully fit.
Any other problems?
No, none, touch wood, so far.
Obviously, the focus very much on the start of the tournament now, but how important are these warm-up games to assess form, fitness, and conditions for the players?
Yeah, I think they're important for guys that haven't been playing a lot of cricket to get a couple of run-outs before we start the tournament. I think with the new format and the larger group as your first challenge throughout the tournament, I suppose you don't have to be coming into the tournament, I suppose, as red hot as you think you might do in previous years, where you might be knocked, like one game might just cost you qualifying. Whereas with more games that you play, it allows you, to either establish some form as a side, and almost gather momentum into the tournament. Whereas I think previous years, certainly the tournaments that I played, 2009, getting out of a group stage was extremely difficult. 2010, when we won, unbelievably difficult. And likewise, 2016, when we got to the final, we scraped through the group stages, and the other two in between, we were bundled out in the group stages. So I think there's a little bit more leeway with this new format.
You're out there now, and you've got the opportunity to lead England to a second World Cup victory in 3 years. How special would that be for you?
Yeah, I think it'll be unbelievably special if we manage to do it. I think that the group of players that we've had together for the last 5 or 6 years, alongside some new, really talented and young guys coming through that have really made a name for themselves, makes a composition of a squad extremely strong. Obviously, playing away from home creates challenges within that. And I suppose for the first time since 2016, we're going into a world tournament where we haven't been favourites. So again, there are some challenges that come with that, but challenges that we've overcome in bilateral series on previous occasions, and challenges that we're really looking forward to.
You mentioned there that you're not the favourites, India are. How do you see this tournament? Is it as open a T20 World Cup as you can remember?
No, I don't think it is. I think the format actually eradicates how open things are. I think sides that play the best cricket and progress into the group stages will very similar to 2019, where the group stage games were 9 and everybody played everybody. It sort of eliminates a banana skin potential that knocks you out of the tournament. I think if you have that on top of other poor performances that knock you out of the tournament, you don't deserve to go through. So, yeah, that's how I see the tournament.
And we saw the fine margins in the last World Cup win. What can you take from that tournament? What can you learn from that?
Here, I think we take a lot of confidence from that. I think having come through the challenges that we did, I suppose after 2015, the learnings we took into the T20 World Cup in 2016, Champions Trophy 2017, and then culminating in the World Cup in 2019, builds a lot of confidence and reinforces the cricket that we're playing is the right direction we want to be going as a white ball group. We're always trying to push the limits. We're always trying to get better as a side. And even since 2019, our cricket has been as consistent as ever, I think, in T20 format, which is extremely difficult to do when there's been chopping and changing the whole time. And I think with the opportunity of not only this World Cup and next year's as well, there's a real chance of being contenders.
Thanks, Owen. All the best.
Cheers, Tim. Thank you.
Cheers, Tim. Let's go to David Charlesworth, then Jeremy Cross.
Hi, Owen. I know you've obviously got another warm-up match tomorrow, but how certain are you of your 11 for Saturday?
Well, we haven't seen the wicket yet, David. So, for the last 5 weeks of the IPL, the team that I've captained, we haven't announced the 11 right up until going to the ground on the day, because the wicket sometimes is a little bit more different than you think. So again, it'll be a similar instance this time.
I was just like zeroing in on one player in particular. Moeen Ali seemed in good touch yesterday. He's been in and out of the side recently in the last year or so. But how close is he pushing his way into contention for the tournament, I suppose? Yeah,
Moeen's been in fine form. He's been in great form in the IPL, and then yesterday again showed great confidence at the wicket. And he's a fantastic player. Has been for England for a very long period of time. So you'd have to say he's obviously in the squad, but in the form that he's in, obviously a very good player that we could utilise at any stage of the tournament.
I know you haven't been around him for that long a period of time, but do you get a sense his Test retirement has maybe been a bit of a freeing experience for him? Now that's off his mind, he can just go out there and do what he does best.
Trying to say that Test match cricket was holding him back?
I don't know.
And Mo's always been a very free-spirited cricketer, and any environment that he's played in where it's lended itself to that, he's always had success. I know he's really enjoyed the being around the white ball team, and also under Joe when he came in this summer, having come in off the back of playing in the 100 and also playing under Stephen Fleming this year has been something that he's really enjoyed.
Lovely stuff. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thanks, David.
Okay, let's go Jeremy Cross and then Cal Sajjad.
Hi, Owen.
Hi, Jeremy.
Sorry to take you back to 2016. I just wondered, it was a remarkable sort of sporting event that night. Do you ever think about it? Do you ever catch yourself just taking yourself back in your own mind to that night?
I probably did for about 6 or 7 months afterwards to try and understand it, because you're right, it was one of the most incredible sporting events in isolation that you'll ever watch, and it's not something that you can just let run off your back. It's something that you need to understand and like I said, learn from. But for a guy who to come in a World Cup final and hit 4 consecutive sixes to win the game for his team is just an incredible feat within itself, and that's the way I've understood it. It's never been done before. I know how hard it is to hit consecutive sixes, even towards the end of an innings, but to hit 4 to get your team over the line in World Cup finals is incredible.
Although it's a number of years ago, can it still act as a motivation losing that final, even now, 5 years on?
To be fair, within the white ball team, we have, there are always cornerstones of motivation to try and drive success, and normally stem from failure. A lot of the guys that were there in 2015 50 over World Cup stem from that. You go back a little bit further, Champions Trophy final 2013. But I think some of the recent guys that viewed that and real heartbreak at the time for the first time on the international stage, it might be theirs.
Thanks, Owen.
Thanks, Jeremy. Let's go to Cal and then Julian Gaya.
Hi, Owen. Good to see you, mate. Have there been any discussions on players taking a knee before the games?
We have heard from the West Indies that they will be taking a knee, and we will be joining them for the first game.
And for games going on from that, further games?
The games going on from there, we've been speaking to the ICC about the potential moment of unity before the game, but we've been doing as part of our own piece at home. But there's been it hasn't been cleared up yet whether that's a possibility or not.
We've seen players' families travel with you guys for this tournament. How's that helped with the mood of the camp, morale? And obviously, it's a lot different to what you've experienced in previous series.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think previously when families could just come and go as they please without there being any COVID measures to consider or protocols to consider, we can all safely say we took it for granted. I think having families around has been excellent. There are more coming out. I think they play an integral part of our career, and to have them around for such a big event and big moment in anybody's career is great.
I mean, we've seen instances in the past where captains have dropped themselves due to bad form. Is that something you'd ever consider if your form wasn't up to it in this tournament? Yeah,
it's always something I've said that is always an option. You know, I'm not going to stand in the way of a team winning the World Cup. I've obviously been short on runs. My captaincy has been pretty good as it goes. So, yeah, is the answer.
Top man, cheers.
Thanks, Carl. Let's go Julian and then David Coverdale.
Yeah, hello, Eoin. Yeah, it was just sort of following on from that. When you are in a run of low scores, do you feel extra pressure as captain, or does the fact you've got the captaincy, something else to think about, help you? And how do you get yourself? I suppose it's the nature of T20 as well that you have these drops from time to time. You've managed to get yourself out of them in the past. Is there any kind of method to that?
Yeah, here to answer your first question, I've always been managed to compartmentalise both and treat two as two different challenges. Obviously, not being a bowler and getting a little bit older and not contributing as much in the field, I've loved the role of being a captain. Allows you, two bites at the cherry when it comes to impacting the game. As regards my batting, I suppose I wouldn't be standing here if I hadn't come out of every bad run form that I've ever had. And being the nature of T20 cricket and where I bat, it means I always have to take quite high risk options. And I've come to terms with that. It's just something that you deal with. It's the nature of the job. So I'm going to continue to take those risks if the team dictates they need them. If they don't, I won't.
Thank you.
David, please, and then John Etheridge.
Hi, Eoin. Are you going to be playing tomorrow in the match, and can you give us any more team news about tomorrow's game?
No team news as yet, and yes, I will be playing.
And just, you talked about whether you would ever drop yourself. I mean, how hard is it to even get in this batting lineup at the moment, given the form of some of those players in the top six?
Yeah, here it's been a batting lineup that people have struggled to get into for a very long time. Back to Johnny Bairstow banging the door down in 2015, 2016, and then getting his chance actually late in 2016, 17. And only really established himself probably in 2018. So it's always been a tough side to get into. Obviously, part of that is the whole of the batting unit buying into the way that the team want to play and the way that we've committed to playing since 2015. And that has been shown in selection as well.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to John and then we'll finish with Alan Gardner.
Hi. I was going to ask about your form, but you've pretty much covered that, really. I mean, so just on Liam Livingstone, for clarification, you say he's fine. It's just a bit of bruising. Yeah? He had a scan or an X-ray of some sort.
He's fine, John. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong.
The medical diagnosis is fine. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
And to finish off, Alan Gardner.
Eoin, I just wanted to ask, sort of touching on your form, but also your own well-being, really. How has the last sort of 6 to 8 months been for you? A lot of travel, a lot of bubbles, quarantine life. I think you've previously called that kind of being on that treadmill long-term untenable. But has it got easier? Have the restrictions lifted a little bit? And has it helped to have experienced all that over the last year and a half?
Has it helped what?
As in, you've gone through all that, and you've dealt with probably a lot worse than just a rough run of form.
Oh, it's obviously not the form; it's the rest of it. That it's being confined. It's having to abide by quite stringent rules and protocols every day. Yes, they are getting more lenient, and it's coming up to quite a considerable period of time that we've been adhering to all of these. I'll still maintain the fact that I don't think they can last much longer, because it's just not sustainable to ask human beings to do this and then go and perform at a high level.
And have you had, over that time, much chance to get away from the game and just think about anything else? I mean, you've obviously been captaining England, captaining KKR. Yeah,
it's obviously been tough to get away, considering travel restrictions, and just travel in general is not as easy as it used to be. But yeah, it's been a challenge.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone, we're done, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.